The dragon in mythology, according to Jungian psychology, represents the terrible mother, the mother that we're all afraid of, that could kill us. It's a psychological archetype, it's called. It's almost universal throughout most cultures that have dragons. This is my server. It's the first server I ever had on MineCraft because it was a gift. MineCraft was a gift. The mouse I'm using was a gift. A lot of the money for the PC that I play on was a gift. This headset I'm recording with is a gift. I could never afford any of this. And part of that is because I have brain injuries. And I have post-traumatic stress disorder from hideous beatings and mutilations from a terrible mother. I've never been to the end because I was too afraid of the mob. It's only been recently that I've gotten over my fear of the mobs enough to plan on visiting the end. But my stronghold on my very first server, my very first world, has been invaded. The silverfish spawner was broken without my knowledge, permission, or consent. And somebody has already been to the end. And as near as I can tell, they've also looted the chests in the stronghold. At least they left me the stone. But I guess that's only because in 1.8, people will be able to craft the stone. I don't know who did it, and I will find out. You see, me inviting you here to this server, that was a real honor. It meant I trusted you. And I trusted you. It also meant I respected your work. And I thought you respected mine. You know how hard I worked on that server to try to get a reputation as a good worker and to build my career in Minecraft and to try to escape poverty. You know how hard I worked. And you have no idea how much abuse and threats and cruelty and gossip I endured in silence to keep working on that server 7 hours a day. And I invited you, or you asked to come from that server to play with me on mine. So tonight, I've never set foot on Endstone in creative. I wouldn't touch the stuff because I didn't have a right to know how it sounded until I set foot in the end legit and liberated the dragon. Believe me, I can relate to the dragon and being imprisoned in a place you don't want to be and being tethered to those crystals and never being able to be free. I've always wanted to liberate the dragon and take her egg back to the overworld, so even though she couldn't be free, her young one could. Do you understand that? I have no living children, but I would have liberated my daughter so that she could be free, even though I couldn't. So this was a surprise to the creeper as well as to me. That creeper's just as startled to be there as I am to see it there. Hi. Ow. This was cruel. I have a sharpness whatever sword. I should have just, put it out of its misery, the poor little thing. It was so kerfuffled. So this is my first trip to the end, ever. And the only reason I came was because I had a feeling that somebody had already been to the end. People were nagging me about going to the end, pestering me rather frequently. And I did something else I don't do in Minecraft. I used an X-ray texture pack. I also followed some cobblestone pillars that I hadn't placed in the jungle that pointed the direction. This is where I logged out this was at the end of the trip. That first part of the video you see was the end of my trip, and I came back to my tree, and I went back to my daughter's garden, and that's where I logged out. But the next clip you're going to see was the very first time I went into the end, and this all happened tonight. I shouldn't be making a video now. I should be making a video in the morning. It's very late. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning, but I can't sleep, so here we go. My first time ever setting foot on Endstone, and I had to do it cheaty to make sure the dragon was there. I was really afraid. I was glad to see the crystals here, but I was really afraid she was gone. I retextured her tonight. I finally found the right file, and I retextured her so that when I do fight her, I'll be able to find her. The sound files are a lot more beautiful than I expected them to be. It's a real animal. I don't know what animal it is, but it's really a nice animal. I think it's a lion and maybe something else, but it sounds like an authentic animal. So there she is, the terrible mother, the powerful mother, the strong mother, the frightening mother. Now in my case, the mother was very, very sick, but also very, very beautiful and intelligent, and she could be very kind and artistic, but when she was cruel, she was lethal. I noticed that even though I'm in creative, the dragon is drawn to me, wants to kill me. I guess it's written into her algorithm. Keeps coming toward me. So here I am in the end for the first time, pretty disappointed with circumstances. But you know, life does that. It gives you disappointments, and other people don't understand how profoundly important the dragon was to me. For other people, this is just a game that Daddy bought him with Daddy's money. It's just a toy. For me, it's overcoming terror. A lifetime of not just being startled like normal people are startled, like in horror movies when they go, oh, and they scream and then they laugh. I don't laugh. The damage in my brain chemistry, the way the electrical impulses go together, has been altered by the trauma and the terror that I've been through. I don't startle like normal people. This game has been very hard for me, because when I startle, I feel such intense pain and such intense terror based on my experiences in my childhood and actually throughout my life. I've had a hard life in poverty, and there have been many instances where I've been scared to death. So I really had hoped I'd come in here with golems and snow golems and a pumpkin on my head and an infinity bow or a bunch of arrows and a really good sword and some really tricked out armor that I had earned myself, you know, with all the enchants. But here she is. And I will come back. And I will fight her in survival with the right gear. And I will do it alone. I'll ask somebody to reset the nether so other people, reset the end so other people can have a dragon fight at some other time. But I'm going to fight this dragon alone. I've earned her. And nobody gets to take that away. One thing I've learned about Minecraft is you can't attach yourself to anything because everything will get taken from you. This, I hadn't expected. But she's still mine.